Hey guys, what's up? The tax deadline is Monday. Okay, seriously, who hasn't filed yet? Like, be honest. Be honest. Like, who has not filed? No, I know I'm on here super late. I decided to hop on. I was sending out a email blast to our customer through our customer data management system just to see who hasn't filed yet and just remind you guys that the tax deadline is Monday. It is Monday. And I know some people are like scared or they've been putting this off for a while. Um, and I was trying to think of what should tonight's topic be, right? And what kept coming to mind was procrastination. Procrastination, the fear of the unknown, and yeah, that's what was coming to mind. And so I thought I would hop on this evening, see if you guys had any last minute questions, but just really talk about this boogeyman, the IRS. It's so funny. A friend of mine called me um, a week or so ago, and she just said, Stephanie, the boogeyman is not going to get you. And I hadn't heard that term since I was like a kid. The boogeyman is not real. He is not going to get you. And that made me think, I'm drinking some water. That made me think about people that I've met over the past few weeks who the boogeyman is not going to get you. And so that made me think about people that I've met over the past few weeks who are completely terrified of the fact that they haven't filed their taxes in like 4 years, 3 years. I spoke to someone just a couple of days ago who said, Stephanie, honestly, hi, Fafa, who said, honestly, Stephanie, I don't know how long it's been since I filed my taxes. Hello, daughter. And to me, what that symbolized was that he delayed it, then started getting scared of it. Oh, okay. He started getting scared of it. He started getting scared of it, and then just thought he would brush it under the rug and then forget about it. And then here I show up one day like, "Hi, how you doing?" I was at a conference, a construction conference. And let's see if Sarah can go live with me. Go live with Sarah. Um, and I went to ask him a question because I thought his table at this event could possibly help me solve a problem that I had. And then he must have asked me what I did for a living. And I said I was an accountant and I have an accounting firm. And he was like, he said, man, the Lord will send a ram in the bush. And he was like, I need to talk to you. Hold on. When I get home, I requested, okay, thank you, daughter. Okay, that's good. And he said the Lord will send a ram in the bush. And what I love about our accounting firm is we seem approachable. What I love about us is that people come to us and say, I've done this for so many years and I need help. Like they feel comfortable in confiding with us about their fears of the boogeyman. And that makes me feel so good. And one, that in our mission to debunk the myth that accounting, auditing, tax is daunting and scary, and our mission is to ease the fear of the unknown, that we're accomplishing that mission just by being approachable or coming off as a brand or accounting firm that people can actually confide in and feel approachable about saying how many years they might be behind on their back taxes. Or I've heard so much over the past few weeks is, man, I'm glad I met you because I really need to get my stuff together. Guys, one thing I've learned about the IRS is communicate, communicate, communicate. When you don't communicate or think you're brushing stuff under the rug, that's when the problems boil over. That's when assets get threatened to get seized, is when you keep avoiding the conversation. And it's nothing like having someone that's an advocate for you. I'll give you a great example. So this year we piloted our bookkeeping program, which has been amazingly successful. And our goal, how we started the bookkeeping program, was we were doing people's taxes, and literally they were owing on their newly started businesses, and they might have only made $700, $200 for the year. And I said, this is clearly owing because you don't have proper bookkeeping in place. And so we piloted this bookkeeping program out of a necessity because we felt like people were handing over taxes to the IRS for newly formed businesses just because they didn't have accurate bookkeeping. And so we took 2023 as a pilot year to pilot our program, and we had about 12 piloting bookkeeping clients that came on board with us. And what we've seen, guys, is on average, so far, the lowest amount we've recouped from our clients who have businesses along with W-2s who have a normal job, we've recouped back 64% on average at the lowest of what was withheld. We actually have one client that we recouped about 95% back of what was withheld from their taxes because they hired us to do bookkeeping cleanup. And I say that to say is you're either going to give your money to one or two people. You're going to give your money to the IRS, or you're going to give the money to us, and not even all of the money, some of the money to us to invest in having an external accounting firm for your personal and your business taxes. And just for people who don't have a business, one of the benefits of working with an accounting firm to do your taxes is that we actually look at your taxes and analyze, like, wow, do you have a kid starting college in the next few years? Are you still claiming that kid? Is that kid working a full-time job? Should they start filing their taxes independently? Or, wow, I've known you for so many years and I know what you and your husband do when you entertain friends, like, and you're about to retire. Why don't you turn that into a business to help supplement your income in retirement? There's so many benefits to going with an accounting firm to do your taxes versus just a tax preparation company, because a firm like us are truly invested in the relationship with you, and we analyze your tax return to see where you could be losing money, where you could be, where there's opportunities, right? Have you heard of that SWOT analysis? The strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. We literally do that with every client's tax return. What are the strengths of this tax return and this couple's income? What are the weaknesses of this couple's tax return or their income or the documents that presented to us? What are some of the opportunities that if they did this or started an IRA or invested in a 401k at work or did a health health savings account, right? Or what are some of the threats? Like, so and so, did you officially register this sole proprietorship with the DBA within your state? Is this LLC? Are you keeping your LLC in good standing? We just recently had a client. So this brings me to, so what we're seeing is that our clients are getting unprecedented refunds through accurate bookkeeping with us, which is not only just a refund, but what's happening is we're minimizing their tax liability. And we have one client where their refund was so unprecedented that it cleared the federal, it got accepted on the federal and the state level, but the federal issued the refund, but the state was like, hold up, we've never issued this kind of refund to this person before. And they sent the client what they call a notice of correction. And normally a notice of correction is when they correct your tax return and say, hey, we recomputed this, that, and the other, and now we're giving you this. And so when we look closely at this notice of correction, they didn't correct anything. They were like, yeah, you do what you do, but hey, just on our end, can you answer a few questions for us? Like, hey, when did you start this business? And by law, you're supposed to keep accurate books. Are you keeping accurate books? What other evidence do you have to show that your LLC is in good standing? Is your LLC is in good standing? And at first the client was like having heart palpitations because they got this letter in the mail. And I said, calm down, calm down. You simply got this letter in the mail, because they was like, hold up. This person's refund increased by this percentage point over the years, and it's probably some trigger in the system saying to that revenue agent, hey, because it triggered this, put some more supporting documentation with this person's tax return so that we can justify issuing this return. It's just they want to do their due diligence. It's almost like, how do I say this? I remember when I used to work in retail, right? And one of the internal controls that they had in place when you work in retail is you had to carry your clear bag into work, and then when you left out of work, they had to look in your clear bag to make sure that you didn't stuff anything in the bag that belonged to the store that you didn't pay for. Once that person checked you out, you were free to go. And that's what we called in the accounting world an internal control. And so simply what happened was the client got a letter that's saying, hey, check the bag before we let you go. That's all it was. We took care of it for the client. We had a stack of supporting documentation. We got the client's certificate of good standing with the state for them, which is good now for a year. They can show that to anybody. They can take it to a bank and get funding. They can open up bank accounts with it, all the things. And we put that documentation together for the client, showed them that the client hired us specifically to clean up their books for 2023 because they knew, like, wow, my business is growing. It's time for me to bring in an expert, right? And that was it. Done. Response. Run a mischeck. Run a mischeck. And the federal already released this refund. So The state, like I said, it was probably just some internal control that they had in place that, hey, check the clear bag before you release them out the door, right? And so, and that's what happens when you have an accounting firm that is invested in the relationship and just not in your taxes for the tax season, and who's invested in seeing your growth all year long. So I just thought I would hop on here just to remind everyone the tax deadline is this upcoming Monday, April 15th. And guys, you have options. Like, don't brush it under the rug. Don't. Get with a tax expert. Help them help you figure this thing out, or become more financially savvy when it comes to your taxes. The tax law was created for people that can stimulate the economy. And there's ways that the tax law can work for you, but a lot of times the Bible says our people are destroyed due to a lack of knowledge, right? And so when you don't have the knowledge to let the tax law work for you, you're losing out on money that could be in your pocket, money that you could be used to invest towards your dreams, money that you could be using to pay off debt, right? For a small price of hiring a professional bookkeeper, I say this all the time. You're either going to give the money to the IRS or give it to the accountant. It's up to you. And I know for me personally, I would rather give it to someone that I know that's invested in the growth of me personally, my financial goals, personally, the financial goals of my business, and who is looking to have a relationship with me all year long, right? And then who is learning things about me, saying, hey, I'm going into retirement in the next year. Can you be that second mind or that second brain to help us brainstorm some passive income in retirement? And quite honestly, an accountant can help you do that. An accountant who is just not only invested in you at tax time, but who's invested in you all year round. And so I just want to encourage you guys that the boogeyman is not as scary as you think. I was just on a call with the IRS with a client a few weeks ago, and the client was nervous because they had got a letter saying that this is a final notice, or we're going to start seizing your assets. But what they didn't realize is that the client the year before, we attempted to get the client caught up on his tax filings and he had one tax return that hadn't been filed. It was 2018, and they weren't letting him do a payment arrangement on the current debt because he hadn't filed 2018 yet. And so when we requested this payment arrangement for them, we also sent off his 2018 return, but we had to mail it. We couldn't e-file it because it was so old. And so the tax return, one or two things, is still sitting in a box somewhere, or what the agent told us over the phone, what probably happened is it came in at the same time as the 2022 return, and the system wants to process the most recent return, and it's going to process the most recent return. So when it has to choose, do I process 2022 or do I process 2018, the system is going to automatically process the 2022 return and void the 2018 return. And so the person told me that that's probably what happened. And so as a result, the payment arrangement didn't get implemented. But he said because we called and he notated in the account that we had made this effort to do a payment arrangement for the client. We had made an effort to file the missing 2018 tax return. He says, we won't bother you. He said, that letter is just for people who will not communicate to us. He said, but because you're communicating, I'm going to notate the file. I am going to hold off on collections for 30 days. And he gave us a strategy on how to file the client's current return and then wait like 2 or 3 weeks and mail in the 2018 return again. And then he said, just simply call back, get another 30-day extension to hold off on collection. By 60 days, we should have processed your 2018 return and the payment arrangement will go into effect. And the client had over $20,000 in tax debt. Over $20,000. And I'm not even going to tell you what was the payment arrangement we offered. But a lot of times people don't realize the IRS is just saying, what can you pay on this debt? You know, especially since 2020, how many people are out of work? How many people are affected with prices going up, right? And wages staying the same, right? They know that. They're not going to cut, they're not, as my mama would say, trying to squeeze blood out of a turnip. They're not trying to squeeze blood out of a turnip. They just are not. But they're also the federal government. And they see you got assets in the bank. If you owe $700 and they see you got $3,000 sitting in savings, they're going to be like, you playing games with us, right? But if they see you owe $10,000 and you got $25 in the bank, they're not going to squeeze money out of a turnip. They're just not, you know. It's about communicating. It's about facing the fear of the unknown. So I just wanted to just hop on here, remind you guys that the tax deadline is April 15th. Don't put it off, guys. Call us. Go to our website, downtownlooptaxes.com. We're like here. And people don't realize our business, our firm personally picks up maybe like mid-March all the way to the end of the year. That's how long we're working with people to get back taxes cleaned up or get their bookkeeping cleaned up and to really help them get on the right footing when it comes to their taxes. And like, if you know you have some write-offs coming to you, don't hurry up and rush and file your taxes because you are scared you won't meet the tax deadline. If you know that with proper bookkeeping that you may not have a liability, call us for us to file an extension for you. It's that easy. And then the cool thing about filing an extension is they say, okay, make an estimated tax payment, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many extensions you file. If you have a liability, you have to pay that liability by April 15th. Taxes are due April 15th regardless, but you can file an extension for a longer time to file the taxes. And one of the cool things about the extension piece of it, we can add on the extension an estimated tax payment. And if we end up getting you that money back, you'll just get it back in a refund. Right? So let's all just commit, in 2024 to just operate kingdom, right? A lot of things I've been telling our clients we've been consulting lately that's coming on board with us that have a passion to clean up all these past years of non-filing is you're blocking your blessings. You're blocking your blessings. And I don't know if you guys heard this saying that God ain't gonna bless no mess, right? Guys, in order for God to bless you, you have got to have your stuff in order. That means you got to be able to easily produce 2 years of tax returns. That means you got to easily be able to produce your current year's profit and loss balance sheet and cash flow statement. You got to have your ducks in a row in order for windows of heavens to be able to open up to you. You know, we recently were awarded a grant by the city of Chicago, and over the past couple of months, we've been submitting a lot of paperwork and documentation for the city to enter into this contract with us for them to invest 75% of the cost of the build out of our office, and our grand opening is in September, and we're really excited about that. We have our team members coming in from India. We have our clients coming in from all across the country. It's going to be a great time. I was just emailing someone this week about blocking rooms at a hotel so that they can go online and book at a discounted rate. It's just going to be a good time. But I say that to say, guys, is in order for us to apply for that grant, guys, we had to submit 2 years of tax returns. We had to submit our current year's financial statements. We had to attest that we had a registered business with the state of Illinois. We had to make sure our stuff was in order to get that blessing. And I look back on when I first entered the journey of entrepreneurship in 2016, and then I look at how I've matured now. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm no longer doing my accounting on a spreadsheet, even though I was an accountant. I no longer have receipts. I no longer have receipts in a plastic bag. But not only that, guys, I have my business registered with the state. I have a DBA. I have payroll in place. I have insurance that I pay for every month. I'm working with consultants to help me grow. I have a relationship with my business banker. I have team members that are solid that I can count on. And our operating systems are tight and getting better and better every year. This morning, I had a meeting with our team members in India. So the cool thing about working with our team members in India, as they are going to bed, we're waking up. And so one of the things that I've been doing over the past 2 years is I take a nap in the middle of the day around 2 o'clock so that I can be prepared to talk to them when they wake up, which is about now as we're preparing for bed, and vice versa. But in the morning when I was waking up, I had emails from them about some client tax files, and I had to get on it. And then I just asked them, I said, can I take a picture of you guys? Like, I want our clients to see the team members that we have overseas. I love that I feel like our firm is open 24/7, because when we're asleep, they're awake, and then when they're awake, we're asleep. So we're constantly working on stuff. Like when they go to sleep, I'm working on the to-dos that they gave me. Then when I'm going to sleep, I've sent to-dos off to them, and then they're working on those when I'm asleep. It's that saying, you're making money while you're asleep kind of thing. But I say that to say is we're ready. We're ready. We're not only ready physically, we're ready mentally, we're ready spiritually, we're ready on paper. We're ready. Another thing I've been doing all week is attempting to access capital. Right? And I don't know about you, but I was always scared to like go get a business loan. I was like, what does my credit look like? You know, I was just always scared. But because of the amazing relationship that I have with my business banker, I was in his office a couple weeks ago. He was like, Stephanie, what's your credit score? I was like, I don't know. He's like, Stephanie, we have this amazing tool on your app. Click it. He went on my phone, pushed a few buttons, and voila. My credit score appeared. My credit report appeared. It gets refreshed every 30 days. And then guess what? So just yesterday or 2 days ago, I filled out for this new cohort where I have the opportunity to get a 0% interest loan for our business. 0% interest for the first 3 years. And I had to upload 2 years of back tax returns. I had to upload my current year's financial statements. I had to say that my business was a legal entity in the state of Illinois. But guess what else I had to upload and tell them? I had to tell them my credit score. I had to upload a credit report. And I had it. I had it. Not only all the other things that I had. And it was so funny when I learned about this opportunity. The lady was like, "Oh, just fill out as much of it as you can." And someone on the presentation was like, "What if I don't have all the information right now?" And then the lady was like, "Well, fill out it as much as you can." Guys, literally, I filled that application out in 10 minutes with all the supporting documentation. So I could go on, but let's just wrap up. Tax deadline is Monday, April 15th. You have options. You have options. And don't run away from the fear of the unknown. The boogeyman is not as scary as you think if you just open your eyes and have a conversation. So, my name is Stephanie Blakely from downtownlooptaxes.com. We're Downtown Loop Taxes, where we're creative goals for taxes. Our team is in the office all weekend long. We are working Friday. We are working Saturday. We are working Sunday. We are working Monday. We are working at all times of the day, all hours of the night to help you meet this tax deadline or to help you avoid any extra penalties. Don't be afraid to reach out to us. We're here for you. This is our one last live. I did it. So we ended up doing about 7 lives throughout the tax season. So I'm proud of myself. That was something, a goal of ours this year was to start this pilot of a podcast. And next year we're really going to do it like top notch and everything. But this was the first year that we wanted to just pilot it. And I've enjoyed this time talking with you guys. You can access all of our past podcasts and our Talk to the Tax Experts on our YouTube channel at Downtown Loop Taxes. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And the work's not done, guys. We're just getting started. We have a whole year of bookkeeping to work on with our clients, growth strategy with our clients, helping them grow and scale their businesses all throughout the year. We're just getting started. The tax season is just the beginning, the starting line of this beautiful, beautiful marathon, okay? Stephanie Blakely, stephanieblakely.com. You can find us at downtownlooptaxes.com. We're open all weekend long, guys. We're here for you. The tax deadline is this upcoming Monday, April 15th, and we're signing off. Talk to you later.